Hello and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy and today we're going to be doing a final pour episode. If you're new to the channel, hello, welcome, come on in. If this is the first video on the channel for you, coming in at the very back end of the whole ordeal is I advise you to go ahead and maybe run through this real quick and then go back and check out like off of the rip video. But while we're here, go ahead and say that. All my returning viewers, hold on a second. All my new viewers, I do a 3-part series, off the rip, get it home, crack it open, pour it in a glass, have my first pour, share my first impressions with you, because gosh darn it, that's what I'm here. I'm here for you. Part 2, full review time. We drink it down about halfway. This is the ish zone. Somewhere in there, we'll stop. Put it on the shelf, let it sit for a week, 2 weeks. Let it sort of, mellow out, relax, open up. It is what it is. I'll go online, I'll find as little as possible to bring back and we'll talk about it. Sometimes I get some good stuff, some juicy bits to bring back and we chew on that for a bit. But anywho, I score it, we continue to drink it because part 3, where we are here today, the final pour, thusly named, we have the final pour in the glass compared to the first pour, off the rip, and everything in between. So currently we are sitting at about just under 6, it's like 5 weeks and change, okay? So it's over 5 weeks, but not quite 6. And here is today's full review episode of Isle of Skye. All my returning viewers, sorry I had to put a pin in you. Hope it didn't hurt too much. Always good to see you. You know how we do. So let's go ahead and get it on, shall we? So this is the Isle of Skye. Blended Scotch whiskey is 12 years old. It is from Ian MacLeod Distilleries, Limited. Matured in oak casks. It is 40% alcohol by volume. Even though there's a little bit of a blurb right there. I like how they always have that part bigger than the government warning. We don't need all that. Like, what we really need. Let's go ahead and get this final pour on, shall we? Yeah, there we go. That's the final pour. Don't even think about it. Oh, well, that's damn near perfect, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah, it's damn near perfect. Isle of Skye. Isle of Skye. So this is what they call a spirits direct. If you have a Total Wine or Total Wine and More near you, go check them out if you haven't, because they have these bottlings that they don't have anywhere else. They're not in Specs. Specs does the same thing. Specs has its own little just direct kind of situation. They have some very great bottles you can only get at Specs, and Total Wines has the same thing going on. You can't find these bottles anywhere else unless it's like Specs or Total Wine. If they have like a special little deal with a certain somebody, maybe somebody in the family has their own little independent owned operated setup, they might have a few of these bottles on their shelf, or however it may go. Isle of Skye. Now there are several more expressions down the line of Isle of Skye. This is their 12-year-old matured in oak cask. It smells okay. So off the rip, and down to the halfway point, I do believe I pointed out that this was more of a bourbon, a lot of more bourbon characters than there was like Scotch, which was not bad. But now the bourbon has sort of relaxed a little bit, and it's unfortunate it had to get all the way down to the final pour for more of that Scotch to really show up to the party. So there's like a dark fruit, maybe like a plum, like a deep, rich sort of red fruit, like a plum. I'm going to say it's probably more like a plum character. You're getting some sweetness, some vanilla, caramel. The oakiness has sort of, laid back. It's probably sitting one off right now. It's got a good nose. Even at the final pour, it's got a pretty good nose. You don't have to go too deep, and you don't have to inhale too harshly. And it's a good balance between a bourbon and a Scotch. I say this is where it's really at, that I like it the most of this bottle. The second half of the bottle is where Mr. Randy likes it, right there. Let's go ahead and get that first acclimation palating out of the way. Oh yeah. That's where it's at. Now, I was thinking, yes, there's the Scotch showing up late to the game. Very, very fashionably late. So much so, it's it's over. The party's over. Now more of that Scotch has shown up. But I think it's balanced. This final pour is balanced between the bourbon and the Scotch. I'm getting butterscotch, caramel, vanilla oak. Not so much of that plum that you get on the nosing. It's still there. I'm still getting that beautiful, deep, rich red fruit plum Scotch on the nose. On the palate, it seems to balance out more so with the bourbon. We'll go ahead and get this next one on and see what it has to say. It's still got some pretty good viscosity, even down to that final pour. I'm getting some nice mellow spiciness clear across the palate, all over the mouth. A little bit of heat back in building up on the back end. Getting cheeks, gums, lips, tongue, tip, top, sides, like I said, pretty much all over the mouth. But all of that's probably like a sub 2 where the heat on the back end is trying to push a 3. I don't think it's quite going to make that 3, but that's got a nice one on there. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to take just a sip of water. Sort of rinse the palate out. I have actually enjoyed this bottle, Isle of Skye, so much so that I probably will not hesitate to try the next in line, Isle of Skye. However, the place in which we have moved on the west side of San Antonio, the closest specs is like 10 minutes down the road. So it's probably going to be like a total of a 30-minute drive, you know, there and back again for specs. But Total Wine, the closest Total Wine is roughly about 30-something minutes away one way. So it takes about an hour, hour and a half to take a trip to Total Wines. Yes, some of you may be saying, that's crazy, being in one city. San Antonio is pretty huge. It's broken down into little areas. We're in a place called Westover Hills. It's nice. It's a lot better than a lot of other places that we've explored around San Antonio. But you know, we prefer to be a little bit closer to Lackland. Just, you know, it's a quicker way to get to work and back. But we still can have main access. The outer rim, you can go on the highway on the outer rim. There's one on the inner rim, and then there's like crisscrossing ones all over. But you jump on the highway, the interstate, whatever, it significantly cuts the journey down, most of the time by half. Okay, I think I'm ready for this finish. I said all that to say this. A trip to Total Wine is going to be like a once in a while thing, probably once a month. And try and make it to where we can do other things instead of just making that one trip. Because it is a trip. We're talking 30 to 45 minutes, I guess, depending on traffic. Could take you like 2 hours, over 2 hours, just for a trip to Specs. That's why I said probably make it a day thing, you know, a next day off or something. You got to go over there, maybe go to a furniture store. Got to figure out where that Costco is. It doesn't really matter. They don't sell bottles in Costco here in Texas, unfortunately. So the finish is, it's a little bit like the palate, except a little turned down a little bit. I think, you know, that initial palating and then the second one probably just sort of got everything relaxed enough and acclimated to it. It's got a really good finish. Not really, really, really good, not excellent, not great, just pretty good. There's a good amount of coverage here. Tingliness all over the place. Sort of work it out. The cheeks, the gums, even a little on the lips. The tongue has probably decided to bow out a little early on this one. The heat in the back has actually turned down. It's a little sub 2 right about now. But it's got a little bit of length. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And it's got some length to it. And I'm getting a lot more, still getting a lot more bourbon than Scotch, but that's kind of nice. It's a decent enough split between the two. I've gotten a couple of Scotch that were too much of like a bourbon, and then some were not quite bourbon-esque at all. There it is. Hit that thumbs up button if you like the video. And so go ahead and subscribe while you're there, while you're at it. If you haven't already subscribed before, every time I do a video or review, I always want to get another bottle. Every time I finish a bottle like we did today, we're going to replace this with another bottle of a different sort. May not be Isle of Skye, but I'm definitely going to be thinking about it now that I've had this one, and it's pretty good. So, there's a little more in there. Do me a favor, in the comment section, tell me where you're at, what are you drinking, what's going on in the world of libations around you. Have you had an Isle of Skye? If you have, which one was it? How did you like it? What are you thinking about next? And as always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. Have a nice one. Have a really nice one.